how are you doing? I am, I'm gonna do kind of a quick replay review today. I'm gonna go over two games because the third game that I've played, I'm not gonna go over. I understand fully why I won that, but I want to go over these two losses because I feel like losses are more instructional sometimes. Although it is nice to understand what you won. Okay, so these matches are they're two matches I've played for the CPL 9 preseason. One is a PvZ and one is a PvT, and they're and I'm going to go over them a bit in this video. I understand why I lost, what I did for. Basically a self-analysis as well. And this is I'm having issues with my stream right now. I did want to live stream this, but I'm having issues starting up my broadcasts and everything. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this video and put it to YouTube. Okay, so this first replay is going to be a PvZ, Protoss versus Zerg, and it's a very short game. I feel like the loss is very straightforward. So we're going to look at the game and then we're going to analyze it. All right, and we're going to look at the game pretty quickly because it's a very standard game. So we're not gonna read too much into it. All right, so here we go. Game one. All right, so this is on. All these games are going to be on Polyvoid. Here's our Zerg. Put that there. Here's me. Put that there. Normally, I play as pink when I'm putting any kind of official match. That's my color. In one of my games, I forgot to do that, but we're not going to be looking at that. But normally I play as pink. So anyway, so here we go. So we're at 7 out of 8. Okay. So before I wasn't really in a good place when I did this opener. Before I did this opener, I almost had a panic attack. And so I was really wound up, and I'd spent probably about a good 20-30 minutes trying to come down from that. And I'd come down to a... They're trying to be supportive. That's nice. So I was trying to come down from that, and because I was trying to come down from that, I don't feel like I was in a really good place in this game. But I'm impressed that I got as far as I did. I feel like the fact that I managed to get through this game despite that is impressive. So, okay, so we're gonna speed this up a little bit. Pretty standard. So as you see, that was started at 11. It's not 12. It's kind of late. Cutting probes at 13. Right. Cutting probes at 13. The Nexus is a bit late. Overpool from Zerg. Nothing surprising here. So here we go. So you saw that I canceled these, and it was just bad placement. It's very unfortunate that happened. Here we go. So pretty straightforward game, pretty standard, and kind of an unfortunate loss. But let's go back to the beginning, and we're gonna ignore them. We're just gonna watch them. We're gonna kind of, just make sure my timings and stuff are right. Okay, so we go down to normal speed, I guess. No, let's speed up. Okay, so 21 seconds when I started my 6th probe. For me, that's very slow. I actually just I just played a game. I just played a game that was a win. My 6th probe started at 16 seconds that game, so 21 seconds for me is very slow. And these probe splits here were not very good. Again, I was just not in a good space this game. So I felt like as I was splitting these, it was kind of like just splitting them one at a time and just going with it. So we'll keep going there. Okay. So yeah, so 21 seconds into that, and then I'm just trying to get my probes out on time at this point. Yeah, normally I'm not that behind. Okay, so we come out here, build a pylon on 8. That's on time. It turns out that's not a good spot, but for now we'll go with it. Okay, so nothing here. As you can see, it's 11. I have well over 150 accumulated, and this forge drops. If you notice, it dropped just before it flipped to 12. So kind of late on the forge. I had well over 150 before I dropped that. So that wasn't very good. So we gotta do better about that. Okay. Honestly, I feel like that late forge drop, and there you go. There's the probe. I'm sorry. There's the drone. So I didn't do anything about the second hatch this game. I saw the drone there getting ready to drop the second hatch, and I kind of figured it was going to be an overpool opener, and I was wondering, should I do something about that second hatch? Should I try and be annoying or something? And I decided against that because I wanted to confirm that for sure it was overpool. Because if it wasn't, that would have been a bad call. So I decided to forget about that and just confirm the opener. Probably not a bad choice, because then I just sent this guy back home and start, focusing on my build. If you notice, I was at something like 494. I was 94 minerals over when I started to send this probe out to here, and then I was well over 500 by the time this actually dropped. So there was a mineral cycle that I just totally missed, and that was already behind. So this Nexus dropped really, really late is what I'm trying to say. This is a really long cut and a really late Nexus drop. Cannon there on 13, okay. I had a little bit extra money. I decided to throw down another cannon. Now this move that I did here, where I canceled them. So if we look now, it takes these things, what, like 20, 30 seconds to build? I think like 25, 30 seconds for a cannon to build. It doesn't take long, but it takes longer than like 13 seconds, which is how long it takes a probe to build. So let's go and look and see where the lings are. Because, so I'm seeing overpool. What's very standard for an overpool opener is reserve to build 4 lings and then throw them at you. So I see overpool, I'm expecting lings. I should be anyway. This was not a good decision-making thing on my part. So let's go and see where the lings are. Okay. So at the time this cannon drops here, the lings are already halfway across the map. Just about. They're right here. They're just about halfway across the map. They're probably about a good 18 seconds away. This cannon is not going to finish by the time they get here. This cannon is going to take, I think, something like 30 seconds, maybe 25, 30 seconds. This cannon is not going to be done by the time they get here. This cannon needed to start at least while they were out, at least while they were here. So canceling the cannon and then rebuilding it here cost me this game. But wait, Breeze, why did you do that? That's the name I go by. I go by Breeze when I'm competing. So. Or Arctic. Arctic, why'd you do that? Well, so what I was trying to do before I played this game, I was practicing walling versus Zerg. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to build my forge here, and then build my gateway about here, and leave this space in the middle for my units to walk through. That was the wall I was building, and then just obviously build cannons all nearby. So what I knew from this Wikipedia article for this position, and in fact I will show it to you, it is this one right here. So this is the 10 o'clock position for Polypoid where I was at in this game. So this right here, whoops, okay, so this right here is the wall, the configuration that I was going for, something like this. So I knew that if I had this placed correctly, I should be able to place a cannon right next to my pylon. So I went in here and I found I was trying to put these two cannons here and then put a cannon next to my pylon. I didn't remember that these two cannons shouldn't be able to fit there. So I couldn't put a cannon here next to my pylon. I was like, oh crap, this is in the wrong spot. So then I just put it up here, right? And I knew that since it was in the wrong spot, that these two cannons here were also in the wrong spot. If I'd have kept these two cannons here, and we'll even fast forward a little bit, you'll see. Yeah. Okay, so this is where the gateway was supposed to go on this wall. And as you can see, if I kept these two cannons here, they would block my units, right? They would block my units from getting out of here. I knew that well in advance. That's why I canceled. So, in my opinion, this was a SimCity event. But it could have also been a decision-making event. I think in the broader scheme of this game, it was a decision-making event. So, if you look at this wall here, I wasn't wrong. This wall was not placed correctly. Turns out my wall was actually too far forward, right? I was using this as a landmark, but it turns out that this is just kind of a landmark of what your wall needs to be behind, not what level to build your wall at. So that was where I screwed up. So if you look here, right? I built my wall along the built my wall along this line, right? I should have built it along this line right here. So you see these two, it's kind of, you can almost kind of draw an imaginary line at this ridge here. This is where I should have put my forge. It basically moved my forge up about a block or two. I mean, if you think of it as a grid, move it up about a square or two to where it's more flush with this line here. Which means that my pylon, instead of being here, my pylon should have been somewhere around here. So this wall was built too far forward. If I'd built this pylon just back here a little bit, it could have been right next to this cannon here. But if you look at the article, what I didn't remember correctly is that my cannons shouldn't be right next to the pylon like that. They should be a little bit more back here. So this was kind of just an unfortunate. I wasn't wrong in that my SimCity was bad, but I was wrong to cancel the cannons and rebuild them. What I should have done is I should have kept those cannons up, held these 4 lanes, and then destroyed them, and then fiddled around with my wall. I mean, you know, there's no guarantee I would have won this game. I probably wouldn't have, but I would be in a better spot. And I also spent way too much time focusing on my scout down here. My Nexus and cannon on 13 wound up being way too late. So that's another thing. And also my forge was late as well. So I need to work on, for this, to improve in this match, I needed to work on building my buildings on time and not canceling my cannons. So buildings on time, do not cancel cannons early on. Keep them up and try and work with it, because if you cancel them, you're going to lose to link sometimes. So there was a decision-making error, and also my buildings were late. So that's basically why my analysis of why I lost this game, right? So it's a pretty straightforward loss. Buildings being on time, that could have just been my splits were in the beginning were really bad. They were really bad. Normally I don't build my 6th probe at 21 seconds. I mean, 18 seconds is not an unheard of point for me to build it. So my 6th probe was really late. That's probably, in my opinion, that's probably why my build was late. Probe splits. This game, probe splitting is kind of like, it's an important skill to have early on, and it's important to do it at a basic level. But the advanced level of trying to get your probes mining all 4 minerals, or the closest minerals, you don't really need that. You really only need it to be like not 4. It's with the way the AI works, it's actually really easy to do 3. And that's what I do, right? I split 3 and then correct the 4th one. So I split 3, and then when those 3 are going back on, when those 3 are returning the minerals of their first trip, I correct the 4th one. And then that way, by the time that 4th one is done with its first trip, essentially, I've gotten, those 3 have gotten a 2nd trip in. So what that winds up being is I get the 3 closest patches the first trip, and then I get the 4 closest patches the 2nd trip. So what does that mean? Well, it's simple math, right? When your probes mine minerals, they mine 8 at a time. So 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, so the first trip I get 24 minerals. 8 times 4 is 32. So the 2nd trip, I get all 4 doing that method, right? You split 3 and correct 1, you get 3 the first trip, and then 4 the 2nd trip, right? So 24 the first trip, and then 32 the 2nd trip. That is 56 minerals total by the end of the 2nd trip. So that's enough to build 6 probe. So that's why I do it that way. It's in this game, it's really easy to split 3 probes. The way the AI works, it's really easy to split. It's not particularly hard. It doesn't take a lot of mental resources to figure that out with the way the AI works, because if you go back to the beginning, well, I can't show you this game because I didn't split them very well. But, it's very easy to do. What's much harder to do and requires a little bit more mental resources, and it requires a little bit more hand-eye coordination, is splitting 4 and getting that maximum optimization of 4 minerals on the first trip. So that's a bit harder to do. That takes a lot more practice and a lot more experience, but 3 is really easy. So that's why I do 3. And I still get enough minerals to build my probe by the 2nd trip. If you split 4, it's still 2 trips. If you split 4, it's still 2 trips before you build a probe. So I still build a probe in the same number of trips. It's just slightly less optimized. That's still a difference. So that's why I just split 3. So normally my splits are good enough to where my 6th probe is not as late as it was. In my opinion, that's why this build was, that's why these buildings, that's why this forge was late. And that's the big thing. This forge was late because of that. The Nexus and the cannon were late because I was focused too much on my scout here. So need to build the buildings on time and need to be better with decision making. Should not have canceled those cannons. Canceling those cannons cost me this game. Okay, so we're done with this game. Let's get out of this replay. Okay, so we know that. And let's go to the next replay. So this next replay is going to be a PvT. This one, the opening, I kind of feel like the opening was a little choppy, but it was better. It was a better opening. So that's something. But it wasn't a great one. So we're gonna do this game here. This is all of these were on Polyvoid. So okay, so PvZ, scouting is important, but also you know, just having your build and stuff on time is also just as important. Yeah, I just feel like that was a very good game for me. Okay, so this next one is kind of a long game. I'm just going to speed up a little bit. As you can see, this is something like this is a 10-minute game. Okay, so this is 23 Nexus. I believe this is a, yeah, this is just I don't know what this is. It's not a gasless expand. Oh, it might be a gasless expand. It's not my gas. So this is a gasless expand into like into a 2-fact mech push. But it's not like a 2-fact. It's not. So this build that this Terran is doing is not exactly 2-fact. It's more of an expand build. So I just want to iterate that. Those are two slightly different builds. Well, very different builds. Very different times. So, great robo. That's what, like 26 supply? 26 side? That's a great robo. I did hit this bunker, but I didn't put pressure on it. Just something to know. I don't think I would have lost this game as critically as I did if I'd have kept pressuring the bunker, but it is something to know. Still building stuff. Great. What time was that expansion? That was before 7 minutes. Up here. That was like 650 something, 650, 655 expansion, so just before 7 minutes. That was very creepy. Look at that. Here it is. Just now adding to that. Terran's pushing. Okay. And they're there. They're on the high ground, and they're pushing forward slowly. Okay, testing my third. They're making me split my forces to deal with that, and then attacking a split up army. My army was already not very good. It was already probably going to get clobbered, but they split it up to make it even more decisive. Okay, so this loss is, we'll speed up a little bit. Okay, so let's play. Okay. So 8 pylon. 10 gateway. 12 gas. 13 4. 15 pylon. 17 goon. 19 range. Build on another goon behind it. Go up to 23. And 23 nexus. Okay. So not a bad opener. Not a bad opener at all. And the second goon is eventually going to pick off this SCV. So, not bad. Pretty clean opener. Let's slow it down a little bit. Okay. Some things to note here. So I'm trying to send this goon over here at about 4 minutes. The reason why I'm doing this is to confirm if it's confirm if there's a bunker or a CC or something there. Make sure it's not a 2-fact push. Let's see if I see it. Okay, so I see the bunker here. Cool. So, why is this goon getting shot? This is a goon attacking a bunker. It should be hitting it with range, right? Why is it getting shot? Right? So, goon's attacking the bunker. Range isn't done. So that was not a good call for me. You know, attacking a full bunker or any bunker with no range. Should have waited till range was in. But I kind of just left him there. Tested that. Whether or not I would have lost because of this, I don't know. It's not a great move, but is it a game-losing move? Probably. That's my opinion. My opinion is that it's probably not a game. Here, second gateway at like 28 after I'd finished my robo. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. Transferring probes, building an OBS, 2-gate OBS, third gateway. Okay. So 23 nexus into 2-gate OBS into 3-gate OBS. That's what this is. That's, you know, not bad. You know, 3-gate OBS is not bad. 2-gate OBS is also not bad. That's a 2-gate OBS is a standard Protoss opener. So I feel like my transition into the 3 gates is not bad. But am I building off of that? Building off of these 3? No. Okay. So what happened here? Not building off of my gateways, decided to take my third nexus. Why'd I do that? Because for some reason I have it in my head that I need to drop my nexus at 7 minutes or before 7 minutes or whatever. So, in this case, this was probably a bad decision. I should have. I think that I shouldn't have built my third nexus without contesting the Terran or something. So I feel like the fact that I chose not to contest the Terran's natural, what I should have done is stayed on 2 bases, powered up a little bit on 2 bases, probably build 2 Dragoons out of this, 2 more Dragoons out of this, 1 more Dragoon out of this, and probably dropped 2-3 more gateways here. That's what I should have done. I should At the time, so my 23 Nexus opener was solid. My transition into 3 gates was pretty good. Maybe a little slow getting that 3rd gate up, but you know, 2 gate obs into 3 gate obs is fine. So what I should have done is I should have, you know, macroed up on these bases a little bit, you know, start building more probes and stuff, and just constantly build off of these 3 gates. So instead, what I chose to do, if you recall, right? I'm not building off of this gate at all. Why'd I build it? This gate, after this goon finishes, I'm not going to build off of it either. Boom. All right. Why do I have 3 gates? I could immediately start 2 goons here. You know, just about. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm saving up 400 minerals for the Nexus up here. Now, what could I have done with those 400 minerals? Well, I could have built 2 more goons here and a gateway here. And then shortly after that, build a gateway here. Could have done that. And I should have done that. I should have added more gateways. So this, I think, is what, in my opinion, this point right here, I feel like I was a little too greedy. Because of the fact I haven't sent my goons over here pressuring this bunker at all, I just kind of, you know, attacked the bunker before range was done, and then just kind of gave the Terran this expansion, so to speak, with like no pressure, no nothing. So the Terran is very comfortable. Very, very, very polite of me to make sure that my Terran opponent is comfortable. Polite Protoss doesn't work. Be rude. Be rude. Be mean. Be in the Anyway, so this was not a good move. Just leaving this open. And then, not a high goon count. Not a lot of production out of my gateways. And being very greedy with my 3rd. I think this is ultimately what lost me the game, because if you recall, speed it up a little bit more. Right. So here's the Terran powering up on 2 factories, building his push. Here I am on 3 gateways. Look at these. 7 minutes in, 7:16 in, and I'm still not building off these gateways. Any of them. So, way too greedy with this 3rd here. And then also upgrading this. Why? So, this was not good. My macro was bad. I needed to constantly be building off of these. This 3rd was a little bit greedy. And I should have just been adding more gateways here. I should have been adding like 2-3 more gateways here. I like 5. 5's a good number, but I also like 6. So I mean, you know, you look at the Terran. I mean, I don't have an obs here, but just the Terran doing their thing. They're already on 2 factories. You should have 2 more gateways than the Terran has factories. Like whatever the Terran's factory count is, you should have 2 gateways per factory. So I should be at at least 4 gateways right now. 5 if I really wanted to outproduce the Terran. So my gateway count is really bad. Is what I'm trying to get at. Another thing I wanted to look at is where's this benchmark? Let's look at 6 minutes. This is a general multitasking macro skill. 6 minutes, I should be at 30 probes. I'm at 25. That's bad. So my probe production is bad. 10 minutes, I should be at 50 probes on 3 bases. All right, so let's look at 10 minutes. right about when he attacked. Okay. I'm on 3 bases, 48 probes. So my probe production is bad. That's another thing I'm driving. My probe production is terrible. 25 probes at 6 minutes. I should be at least 30 at 6 minutes off 2 base. 48 probes at 10 minutes. I should be at least 50 probes at 10 minutes. So probe production is terrible. Gateway count is terrible. Macro is terrible. Probes, more gateways, macro. Those are the 3 things that I am doing terribly this game. But here's the thing. I won a game I won a game. And that game, I was also behind in probe, but I was not behind in gates and in unit production. So, you know, the bigger problem that I have with this game and just in general with this matchup right now is my gateway count. My probes are not great, but that's not what's losing me the game. What's losing me this game is my gateway count and my macro, particularly my army production. More gateways, more army. Those are what I need. So that's and I learned that from last game. In fact, we can go over that replay as well. So this is 10 minutes in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways. Terran has 1, 2, 3, 4 factories. Yeah. So I'm just behind in gateways the whole game. I should be at least 8 gateways right now. So more gateways, more units, more probes. Those 3 things. So one of the things I can do to work on this matchup is I can work on the multitasking. The multitask map, it's not a perfect training map because you're still dealing with this Brood War AI, which is just stupid. The Brood War AI does not attack you anything like an actual human does, so that's why I say it's stupid. So it's not perfect, but you do hit those benchmarks in that map. So one of the things I can do is I can practice the multitask map and just get better at my probes and my macro and my build. My macro is terrible. So macro, gates, probe benchmarks. I want at least 30 probes at 6 minutes and at least 50 probes at 10 minutes. I did not hit either of those benchmarks this game. But we'll show you a replay of the game that I won. I didn't hit those benchmarks in that game either, and I still won. The bigger problem with this game that I didn't have with that game is my gateways. More gateways. So we'll go and show you that game as well. I'm not going to really, because it was a win, and I understand why. I understand why I won that game. I also understand what I still need to work on in PvT. I'm not going to really go over that replay in as much depth. I'm just going to show you. So to review, right? First game, PvZ. Build needs to be on time. Buildings need to be on time. On time. That's a big one. Another one is don't cancel cannons. Build on time. Don't cancel cannons. That's it. If I'd have done both of those things, if I'd have built my stuff on time and if I wouldn't have canceled my cannons, I may not have won, but that opening would have gone better. So, but you know, I also understood that I just didn't open well that game. Normally, I'm pretty good at my openings. So yeah, build on time. Repeating again, build on time, and don't cancel cannons. Okay, the PvT. More gateways. Macro. Probes. Those three things. What screwed me that PvT was I was way too greedy with my third. I was way too greedy with my third because my sense of the game was not right? I should have been a little bit, if I was going to take my third then, I should have been a little bit more active in pressuring the Terran bunker and trying to contain the Terran. I should have done a lot better at that. I should have made the Terran a little bit more nervous to move out. So if I was going to take my expansion at 7 minutes, that's what I needed to do. So because I didn't do that, what I should have done, because I didn't pressure the Terran, what I should have done is I should have just powered up as best I can on 2 bases, right? More gates, macro, more probes. That's what I should have done. And then kind of progressively, you know, try and deal with the Terran back and expand behind it. So that PvT, I was too greedy with my third, and that's why I lost. Okay, so PvT, more gates, more units, more probes. Boom, that's it. Those 3 things. Those are the 3 major things that cost me that game, for sure. If I'd have been better with those 3 things, there's no guarantee that I would have won. There's no guarantee I would have held that push, but I certainly would have been in a better spot. I certainly would have been looking better. So those are my mental notes with PvZ PvT. Okay, so now let's look at this game that I won. This is also a PvT. I'm gonna go here. Okay, so it's kind of a long game. It's a almost a 25-minute game. And we're gonna fast forward through a bit of it because, again, I understand why I won this. So here I am. Speed up a little bit. There I am. There's the Terran. Okay, so again, this is 23 Nexus. So there's the 8 pylon. The Terran is also going to do an expand. But what you're going to notice is that I'm going to do some things better this game. And I'm going to point them out as I do them. So, there's my 10 gate, 12 gas, 13 core. Yep. 15 pylon. Scouting. 17 Dragoon. 19 range. 20, 21. Oh, perfect. Great timing for that Dragoon. All right. So, slow it down a little bit. 23 Nexus here. Okay. So now let's continue. Okay, so now pylon's going there, Dragoon's going out here. It's almost 4 minutes. I know where the Terran is because I just scouted everywhere else they aren't. So I know where they are. This was bad. Apparently I don't know Polypoid. I think that this is the Terran main right here. No, actually it's over here. So bad, but still managed to get there. I have 2 goons now. That was dumb. That was a dumb mistake, but whatever. Didn't cost me the game at all. Building a 3rd goon. gonna send it over. Okay, so I'm here. Range is almost done. Waiting for them. Okay. Do I realize that range is done and I'm gonna send these over? Did I hear upgrade complete? And I put that together. Yes, I did. Okay. So I'm sending my third goon over there. And I've heard upgrade complete, so I know I can attack this bunker. So this is one thing I'm doing better this game. Look at this. I am pressuring the Terran bunker with Dragoon range. This is what I should have been doing that first game. And I have 2 Dragoons here. Not bad. I have a third on the way. Not bad. And I'm not blocked, right? I have my probes building here. I'm probably going to have my next Dragoon start shortly. My Nexus is getting almost done. Look at this. Pressuring a Terran bunker from the beginning. So this is good. Okay. And there you go. I'm building more Dragoons. Okay. So, getting this gateway up. Getting the third. 2 more gates up here. I built the 2 gates. One of the things I didn't do very well this game, but it didn't wind up hurting me at all. I built this robo really late. I built it at like 6 minutes. 6-minute robo. 34 supply. I should have built the robo before I built the gates, but it didn't hurt me. So look at that. Destroyed that bunker. Terran had to push me away and rebuild. Nice. Killed a Marine too as well. You didn't see that, but killed a Marine as well. And what did I do? So after the Terran pushed me away from this bunker, this is what I did this game that I did really well. Is so the Terran finally pushes me away from the bunker with the siege tanks at about 7 minutes. What did I do? I retreated to their high ground third. Right? And I basically just held position here. I held this ground. I held this hill. So, and I'm just rallying stuff to this hill. Eventually. So, that's what I did really well this game. And my macro is looking better. I want to go back to where I am at 6 minutes. Double check my probes real quick. I mean, this I was spending a lot of time focusing on what was going on with the Terran Nat. So, 6 minutes I'm behind in probes, but I'm focusing a lot on this. So that's why I'm behind, right? I'm focusing, look at that. There you go. There's that Marine I killed. And an SCV. Nice. Okay, so 6.5 minutes. I pull back to this high ground and I hold here. And then I start building probes again shortly. So 6.5 minutes or so, 6 minutes and 40 seconds, I start building probe. But once I start building probe, I get back up to 30 pretty quickly. So, just spend a lot of time focusing on the fight there. Trying to make sure I don't lose everything. So, one thing I did this game that I like, so I'm building my OBS. I don't have an OBS building yet. Do I have one? No, I don't have an OBS building, but instead of building my OBS right away, what I did is I built 3 more gateways. And that's because I just learned from my last game I learned from my last game where I was sitting on 3 gates for so long and it took me forever to add those 6 gateways. And so this one I just kind of tried to add those 6 gateways early. I was assuming this Terran was on 2 factories. Turns out they were still on 1, so I was way ahead of the Terran at this decision. I thought I was going to be just slightly ahead of the Terran, but it turns out I was way ahead of the Terran in this call. So this right here, 7.5 minutes before I even start my third, dropping 3 more gateways, not being as greedy with my third this game. This is something I did really well. Okay. Still producing way better macro, always producing. My probes are not very great, but just focusing on a lot. Trying to get this third up. Should have some more probes. Build it. Okay. Holding this high ground. This position, to me, I was like this. I wanted to know, and this is a goon I sent up here, by the way. I wanted to know, I wanted to hold this base. I knew I had this base, and I wanted to know if the Terran was ever going to expand to this base. I don't want to, I just want to, with this base, I just want a unit here just to see. Just to have, like a tripwire, right? I just want to have some warning on what they're doing. So that's why I put that. But otherwise, I was really focused on holding this. I felt like, they're going to try and get this up, get this high ground third and fortify it with tanks, right? So that's what I'm trying to delay as long as possible. I do a great job in this game. So adding more goons. Look at that. Holy crap. That's like 12 goons up there just holding that. That's insane. They're scanning. I don't know what they're scanning, but clearly they're not scanning right then. So eventually they send a vulture up here to try and just, explore. I have an obs here seeing this. Oh, no, they sent the vulture out already. I almost killed them. So they're going to try and push and take this base. Now, I want to go back a little bit, because they're building a turret there. Okay. I want to go back a little bit to here. There's a point where I move my obs. Where do I do that? Yeah. Okay. Is it here at 9 minutes? Yeah, it's here at 9 minutes. Okay. So, 10 minutes or so, I move my obs here, and I see that the Terran is building 4 factories. I see that the Terran is now going to be on 4 factories. Okay. So what do? I'm on 6 gates right now. And I check to see how many factories the Terran has. My obs is in a great spot. So I add 3 more gates. I don't add 2, I add 3. I want to be decisively ahead in production. So I add 2 here to even it up, some supply, and I add a 3rd gate here. Okay. I wind up, that winds up being good for the whole game, although I should have not rested on my laurels. So, Terran's pushing, still trying to take this 3rd. I'm pushing back, totally destroy their push, go all the way back to here. Destroy their bunker, awesome. Okay, so what did I do? I held the 3rd here. I totally just built up my forces here. When I saw that the Terran was trying to push and take this 3rd, I reinforced with everything I had and I pushed back. So now not only did they lose everything, do they have to rebuild all those tanks, they also have to rebuild this bunker, and they still don't have their 3rd, and it's 14 minutes in. So I held this high ground really well. Okay. The Terran is rebuilding tanks with Gorn Goliaths. My zealots laugh at their Goliaths. Ha 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 ha. You think he does. Although my zealots do not laugh at tanks. So they don't see that I have much up there, so they're going to try and push and take them. They finally do secure it because I don't reinforce quick enough. Alright, when is it that they're building? And I'm totally just reinforcing right now. 17 minutes into this game. 17 minutes into this game, they finally have secured their third and have landed it. And they're going to start mining from it. Okay, so I delayed this expansion by like 10 minutes. Just from holding it, reinforcing, pushing it back. And now, even after they secured it, I'm still pushing. I'm still attacking. I'm still, you know, they're killing all my stuff, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care that they're killing everything. You know why? Because I've got 9 gateways. I'm just, look at that. I'm just queuing things up. Queuing things up, building another pylon. I'm going to eventually I want to build more gateways in this area. So, I don't care. I don't care if they're killing everything because I'm doing everything. Great. Okay. So, this cluster of tanks have a zealot bomb here that I try to do and I totally fail at because they unseen it. Still pushing, still taking out some tanks that they have to do. Not wasting my units, but here totally kills that. Okay. Eventually what I do is I build Templars, I build Storm, and I eventually rally more units here. And by the time I start moving out with my units, my objective is to storm these tanks. Get as many tanks with the storm as possible. By the time I did this attack, I think I had like 4 Templar. I had them all in a hotkey. Before I did this attack, I just hotkeyed all my Templar and then basically went in with everything and tried to get a good storm off these tanks with that hotkey. And that's exactly what I did. Look at that. Beautiful. Totally took out all those tanks. That actually is what I feel like is what decided the game, was that storm. So, here we go. Push up, and I still have reinforcements flooding in. Eventually take this third, storm the SCVs, kill the SCVs. You didn't see the storm, but it's there. So, Terran spent 10 minutes trying to get this high ground third. They had it for about 5 minutes, and then they lost it. And from here on in, we're at 22. So from here on in, I'm basically just flooding, like all these gateway units that are here, I'm just going to rally them to the Terran and just flood them with units. And that's, look at that. So there goes that third. Here comes the reinforcements, the next army. They're going to flood. Now, I'm going to try to attack that, flooding them in, still killing stuff. Look at that. Beautiful. Now I'm looking at this and I'm going, I don't see any tanks from here. This is what so you can't see what I can see, but I want to slow it down. It's almost decided. There's a point, and it's just right now when I start sending these, right? Or sorry, when I start sending these. There's a point where I make it, here, let's go back to 20. Okay. So there's a point here where this falls, and I keep going forward. I keep going forward. Kill these tanks. Keep moving ahead. You know, trying to kill that. Great. Okay, so this clears. I still haven't sent my reinforcements. So one of the things I do is I look at this. Okay, now I'm starting to send reinforcements. Alright. So, right now, I'm looking at this base. These guys just got here. I'm noticing there's no fire coming on them from here. Nothing. Look at that. There's nothing contesting these zealots here or anything. And I'm like, there's no fire coming from them. right here. Okay, so I'm just going to send these guys in. And in fact, that's when I start sending these guys in. And these guys are just now getting. So I'm kind of like, I'm realizing that they have nothing. And another thing I wanted to go back to, I wanted to note. So you noted my upgrades, right? 2-1. I'm behind the Terran in upgrades. I want to go back to their map here. Okay. They're at 3-2. Almost 3-3. I am at 1-1 when they're at 3-2. My 2-1 is almost about to finish. So when I do this attack here, Terran is ahead of me in upgrades. When I send this group up here, right? Terran is ahead of me in upgrades. 2-1 now, because 2 just finished. 2-1 against 3-2. They're ahead of me, right? I still win this pretty decisively. So it's okay that I'm behind in upgrades. I mean, it's not okay, but clearly I didn't lose the game because I'm behind in upgrades. They're ahead of me in upgrades, right? I won the game just because of my macro. Look at that. Just sending more reinforcements and then a third batch of reinforcements coming in behind it. So eventually when this falls, I just flood units in here. And, you know, there's now a tank here, but there was nothing firing here. That's why I just flooded everything in. There it goes. All right. So, and what did I do this game? You know, my probe production wasn't great, right? I'm at 6 minutes. I'm behind, but I'm also really focusing on keeping my units alive. Am I at 50 probes at 10 minutes? No. I'm way behind in probes at 10 minutes. I'm 15 probes. But look at this. I am 40 supply ahead of my opponent. I'm 40 psi ahead of my opponent, and it's all in army. And all of this is devoted to holding this position right here. So, yeah. So, you don't... I wanted to show this game because you don't necessarily need to... 30 probes at 10 minutes, 30 probes at 6 minutes on 2 Nexus, 50 probes at 10 minutes on 3. These are guidelines, these are benchmarks. You don't need to be at these every game to win. What you need, and this is what I did this game, I just had, look at this, I have 6 gateways to... I have 6 gateways to like 1-2 factories, right? He's starting to add more to get up to 4 factories. I scout this, right? I scout this at about 10 minutes and see 4 factories. And so shortly after, I add 2 more. I add 2 more immediately after scouting it. Add a whole bunch of pylons. And then I add 9 there. So why did I add 9? Because I know that if I have 2 gateways for every Terran factory, I'm about where I need to be in production. So as long as I have these gateways constantly producing, I'm about where I need to be. I wanted to be ahead. That's why I did that. So, you know, and it just worked out this game. This is, you know, I don't have a rigid way of playing every game. You know, I just, you know, just the way it worked out. But the big thing that won me this game was keeping this third from the Terran. So these are the things I did right this game. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna dwell too hard on whether I need to do it every game, because the situation every game is fluid. But this is what I did right this game. And my probes were not particularly good, but my gates were good and my unit count was good. I was ahead of him in supply the whole game. And I kept this high ground third from him for a long time. He did not get to this until 17 minutes into the game, and that's entirely because I kept it from him. And even when he was there, I was still trying to keep, I was still trying to hit him as much as I could. So he was constantly dealing with units. And then, of course, Storm. It's a great spell. If you get a great Storm off, it turns the tide. So Storm is what won the game, but also I feel like holding that third, really like holding the high ground, keeping the high ground from depriving the high ground. What another big thing I did in this game that I did really well. Pro production this game was not great. I still need to work on that. I still need to work on building probes, but gateways were great this game, and macro, particularly unit production, was great this game. That's what I did right. So that's that. So now I know what I need to work on. I know what I did right. I know what I need to keep doing because it worked, right? I need to build gateways. I need to, at least in PvT, right? What worked this game? I hit his bunker early on with ranged dragoons. I killed his bunker, and I killed a couple Marines and an SCV. So, keeping the pressure on early with dragoons worked for me this game. Another thing that worked for me was not letting my dragoons die and holding them to the high ground, and literally holding that high ground base for the whole game. So, again, early pressure with dragoons, holding, denying the high ground third. And another thing that worked for me this game was being way ahead of him in gates, gateways, and units. So, dragoon pressure, denying the third, gateways, and units. Those three things are things I did well this game that won me the game. So now I know it works, right? Obviously, like I said, StarCraft's a very fluid game. Just because it works this game, just because it works exactly this way this game, doesn't mean it's going to work exactly this way the next game. I know that. So it's a fluid game, but these are three things that I did well that I need to continue to do well in PvT. So, and just pro production is what I need to work on. So I need to work on my SimCity and my timing in PvT. In PvZ, I need to work on my SimCity and my timing. In PvT, I need to work on pro production and probably also SimCity. My base layout probably could have been better that game, even though it worked out. So yeah, there you go. SimCity in both games, pro production in PvT, being on time and not canceling buildings in PvZ. All right, we know we need to work on that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed these replays, and I know I tend to rant, but I'm trying to keep it not too ranty. So hopefully I will see you on stream soon, but until then, I hope you enjoy this video. Stay safe and take care.